This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. I'll call the Cottage Grove Town Board meeting to order. It is 7 o'clock on February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, 2026. We're all at the Town Hall at 4058 County Road N. You can attend either in person or use GoToMeeting. We have a quorum present. The meeting was properly posted, and we will stand for the flag pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone. We have minutes from the last meeting.
I move approval as presented.
I'll second. Motion by Kristen, second by Troy to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Finance report and approval of bills.
I didn't put the last check number in there. What it is. $38,448 is the last check number. I forgot to put it on the front.
$448.
Yep.
So the gas and electric bill at Flint Hall was, their utility bill was $734 for that month.
I usually look, but auditors were here today and I didn't get much of my usual done, so I usually look, that just came in. I usually look and like compare it to the same month other years to make sure like it doesn't seem like a door was left open or something, and I didn't get a chance to do that today, so.
Well, it's the first time I've ever viewed it.
It's that normally cold.
Yeah.
The building's not well insulated.
Yeah, so I was fixing it.
The furnace runs a lot. It's cold.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, motion to approve check issue 38 412 to 38,448, is that correct?
Yes.
And 38,175 lost. 38,234 lost, and missed check $1,380.40.
Well, check number 38408, that was, we missed a check positive deadline on that. Bank turned it down. There's also the EFTs of
Yeah,
29.
EFT payments issued 29,718.49.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion to check, excuse me, a second to approve checks 3844, correction, 38412 through 38448 with the voids of check number 38,175 and 38,234 and the missed,
And 38408, that's a check number too.
I'm sorry,
38408 is the other check number.
okay. And then EFT payments of $29,718.49. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And in the back, you have your municipal court summary.
I move approval of the per diems.
Second.
Motion by Christie, second by Mike to approve the per diems as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And I would add that we have our unaudited cash and investment balance of, holy cow, $10,905,776.76. So who gets the next big chunk?
Schools.
Schools?
Taxes.
Next item, public concerns, public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Nobody? Okay. Next item, plan commission recommendations. Valerie and Joel Nyhuis, petitioners and property owners, parcel 0711-242-9160-0 and 0711-242-9175-3 at 3857 West Jargo. Conditional use permit for limited family business and nonprofit use, a horse rescue.
Nobody's here.
Yeah, she's online.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Operating this
Sorry.
right now or just wanting to get started? It was not quite clear to me.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Are you operating this right now and wanting here for a conditional use permit because of the arena you want to build?
Correct. Yep. So we moved there about 2023 and did not understand that I couldn't operate out of the accessory building aspect. I had applied to a permit last year to build an additional hay storage area. Nobody said anything at that point. And then I went to apply for the indoor arena and was told I needed a CUP. So we're covering our basis and going through that process.
It looks well documented to me.
She came very well prepared. I wish everyone did, all of our plant commission stuff.
I think it's a very good idea, a good service for people and horses.
Thank you. We do too.
Anybody have any other questions? Comments?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Fonger, second by Troy to approve the conditional use permit request for Valerie and Joel. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Next item, consider adoption of resolution 26-02-02, granting conditional approval of the preliminary plat for Kennedy Hills, second edition.
Are there any changes to this? Planning commission meeting?
How did you decide to add 32 parking places? How was that decision made
I think,
by the park?
I think the town planner came up with that, didn't he?
Where is it?
I believe so.
Yeah. Is he the one who also came up with the putting up pond in that existing park?
No, I didn't.
You did? Is there enough acreage given back to us then to
I believe
compensate for
there,
that?
I believe there was, yeah.
Because that's some good flat parkland. As long as I guess it's good and flat there by that parking lot, so we can put another soccer field over there. That'd be the only thing.
How does it look to you for that?
My question was that pond being back in that park area,
Right.
an existing park. You know, because there is a walking path that goes through
Right.
there, and we'd have to move a frisbee golf disc thing, but that's all right. But like, as long as we're getting land and compensation for it.
So here's the park page. So here's, Dan, you're concerned that this area here between the parking lot and the pond should be flat enough to be usable.
Yeah, in exchange for that piece back there that we're losing.
And then you were also wondering about getting to the path right here, back here too, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people use it, myself included.
Do you think your use will be impaired with this or?
I mean, I don't, if it's all pond area, people are gonna wanna walk through there. You know? It's kind of just how you get the one park to the other park. Without going on the road. But I don't know, people might not care about it either, I don't know.
Well, somebody at the park commission also asked about that.
Well, wasn't, I don't have my drawings. The elevations there, aren't they peaked and not flat?
For the,
In right where the parking lot, the space between and the,
no, I think that was relatively flat.
Yeah, there's like 3 feet of drop from the parking lot to the rim of the pond.
yeah. Okay. You're gonna put a soccer field right in between the stormwater pond and the parking lot?
Be nice to, right? Cause
Mm.
that parkland back there right now is a nice flat area.
That you're taking away.
Yeah, that they're gonna put the pond on.
Hmm,
So you wanna replace it with a nice flat area, right?
Right,
You don't want a hill.
right.
Well, then, looking at that, would it make sense to move the parking lot to the north, next to the pond?
No,
Wouldn't? Okay.
No, you wouldn't want that far in there. Rather have the parking lot out by the road. It's just, yeah, if you could just get a flat area big enough area in there to
But wait,
make it feasible.
right now the parking lot's next to lot 42.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't make sense to just shift it north?
You know,
Okay.
I would think. Were you planning on removing all those trees in that fence line?
Not anymore than had to.
Not anymore than you do.
I think the main thing is the floor.
Elevation drawings.
And some of that's growing out probably 40 feet.
Yeah.
What is the decision about the silos?
I guess that's up to you guys. It doesn't matter to me. I can wipe them out. It doesn't matter. If they're gonna be a nuisance or a problem later. So,
Your thoughts? You live in the
Yeah,
area.
my property.
I know, but you live nearby, so
Somebody might want them that buys a lot.
good point.
But then if they don't want them though, they also don't want to remove them.
Yeah, there's about 5 feet of drop. Rim is about the edge of the park. I see.
Yeah, well, you have to look. So it's like what, 916 roughly at the parking lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
To 912.
tonight I got 910.
Oh, yeah, I think 912 is the rim. That's the start of the rim of the pond.
Okay, I see what you're,
Yeah, actually, technically, it starts way back here.
Yeah.
913.
No, right here where my pen is.
Oh, 912. So I just went off the like 915 to 912 is 3 feet, you know.
So with the infiltration basin actually in the park, what land was going to be given to us from which part of the development?
That's where the parking lot is.
So is this that I'm circling, you can see that, is that bigger than it would have by the amount that you took from the other park? I mean, you know, is this bigger than what was required?
Well, he would have to put that pond in that area if he didn't put it over there.
Right. But since he put it over there, there's stormwater and there's park. What does Mark's thing say about that?
He really doesn't say much about it. He just talks square footage and he thinks it's compensated for. 5D, I think it is 5D.
I guess I was just looking at that corner was just kind of dead space. Looked at it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people have dogs and that's kind of a fun area, I guess you'd say. The ball throwing area and stuff. Because they really don't like to do it on the soccer fields, all the soccer fields that are there. And that's what I was saying, if we could move, like if you could put a soccer field over by the parking lot, then you could have more space out in the regular area to do that kind of stuff too. And not invade the soccer players. I live right behind there,
No,
so.
So the discharge of the infiltration basin goes north.
That's a waterway there.
Correct, right.
Yeah. Right by where that path is.
Um,
I mean, it makes sense. I just want to make sure we,
what happens if you were to rotate that 90 degrees? The wet pond, there'd be less.
Wouldn't reach the outlet, would it?
Why you look at it's something different now when you went through this on the planning commission,
did.
big time.
The discussion never came up about,
it being existing parkland.
yeah.
It came up. It was talked about.
What's that?
It was talked about, but nobody, I mean, you know, Dan's point about making sure it's flat enough between the parking lot and the pond to make it useful as parkland was not brought up. That's,
I'm just looking out for the town's benefit for the further in future use of it, you know?
So where the infiltration base is right now, that has been used by people? Yes?
Yeah, we mow it now. It's mowed grass.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, that's where like people, the Frisbee guys are back there now. And then a lot of people run their dogs back there. I mean, they walk that path in between the parks and then they kind of play fetch with their dogs back in there. I'm included in that. But
So if that gets used like that, Dan, what space is there for Frisbee walking dogs?
well, it's a big park the other way. That's what I'm saying. If there's room there for that kind of stuff by the pond,
Here,
then you could do that. Like if it's like the size of a
there's
soccer
room
field,
and
yeah,
it's flat.
and fairly flat would be nice, yeah.
Corey, was that gonna hold water?
which one?
The stormwater?
Yeah.
That's gonna have water in it
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah. Can you imagine how we talk about it?
And dogs.
And,
How deep is that stormwater pond? Just so we know how deep that's gonna be.
Same as the other one, like 12 feet?
No, that
No?
should be like 5 feet to the safety
Oh,
shelf.
it's only feet, 5?
Yeah, I brought that up in the meeting that.
Oh, really?
that's what the engineer said.
5 to 6 feet.
Yeah, to the safety shelf.
Mhm.
They're not that deep.
910 to 903?
903 is
Base, right?
That's the shelf, isn't it?
that's what I
No,
was, that,
905 is the shelf. 910 is your
Well, then
overflow shelf though. Then your infiltration, because you're gonna have an overflow spill area, right?
that should be 903 should be the shelf.
So what's the base of it then?
I don't know, I don't think it's in there.
Dan, how many people are using that area at a time typically now?
At a time?
Or, you know, on a Saturday or weekend?
I don't know, you see a couple people over there on a Saturday.
But now we're going to have 2 more.
But it depends on the time of year, like soccer time, that park's full
Full.
in the
Period.
summer, yeah.
That's what I would
Kids
guess.
and families, yeah.
It's full now in the summertime.
Yeah.
And then we add these homes,
Yeah,
2 and 3.
true.
Is there going to be enough space?
Well, that's what Mark's calculations are all about, how much parkland you need per lot, and if you read that 5D
Yeah,
or
I
whatever it
did
is.
start reading it, but I can't
He's got
remember.
all
what-
his calculations there, and he feels like it's adequate parkland space,
That's what we pay them for.
but, you know,
Be our planner.
Dan's point is, is it space or is it usable space?
Right.
Yes.
So where are we at here? Is there a problem with what's on the line right now, or, I mean, you guys 7-0 on your,
Yeah.
is there something to be changed, or?
Just some points brought up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm asking. I mean,
So
We don't define what everything you have to do, right?
Right, but if you can't change anything when you get to the final, everything has to be spelled out with a preliminary, you can't add things at the final, so. If there's something you wanna look into deeper before you approve it, you should do it now, because once the preliminary is approved, that's what it's gotta be, and the final just has to meet that.
They need to meet Mark then, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, you don't wanna approve a
Were they
preliminary
at the plan commission
if
meeting?
there's questions, yeah.
Yeah.
And it met all of Mark's points.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
He does say here, point K, provide wide areas for public access to parks and common open spaces. The proposed plat includes wide street access to Park Outlot 1 that we're talking about. Standard met. So
Well,
according to our planner, it's met.
the part about having park space, is it usable? Is that space
Right.
in between? And I should have brought it up more at the planning meeting. Was it usable?
Well, a lot of times you don't see stormwater in your parks, you know, I mean, that's the tough part of it.
Right.
Most time, like, they're in like phase one there, they're off behind houses. You're not really involved with them, you know.
And that's why,
Plus, you're gonna have kids around them, you're gonna have,
that's what I brought up about the Sun Prairie Act. And she's like, well, you know,
Yeah, that's Sun Prairie.
you know, I mean, there isn't, you can't regulate people's actions.
You're right.
I mean,
You're right.
you've had the wet pond behind the Piggly Wiggly for what, 10, 15 years now? You got the big one where the kids are fishing. There isn't a fence around that one. And, you know, thank gosh, nothing's ever bad has happened. It was just an unfortunate thing that, and, you know, the one that extends actually into the park is gonna be dry. So I mean, it's, and unless there's a major storm that's gonna cause, you know, the stormwater pond to infiltrate into that one, it's always gonna be dry.
yeah, it's usually just heavy rains.
And it'll still be useful and people can still walk through it. And
that's the.
like I said, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, the infiltration basin is what you're talking about. Be dry.
Right, exactly.
And usually it's got native plants too, so it grows up taller, so it's not like it's short grass where kids are gonna wanna run through it, you know? It's longer flowering type plants, grass. So
All right.
that
Good
that
places
deters
for
them a
dogs,
little
but-
bit.
Okay.
And that won't be mowed, you know, like super short like the park grass will. Around the ponds and stuff, you kind of keep that a little longer.
And the basin can't be moved into that outlot.
The infiltration basin.
The infiltration basin can't
Outlet,
be.
I mean,
No,
isn't
because
the,
it's the grade's
out to
going the
the-
wrong way.
Oh,
because of the water flows out here somewhere, right?
You know, towards the lot line further.
Closer
Right
to-
in there, yeah.
So it's right by the path?
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh,
That's the
okay.
lowest point.
Ah,
It's like
And
right
it's,
in there.
but it's gonna have to be one heck of a rain in order to fill up the infiltration basin to make it flow out into,
Oh, yeah, your infiltration basin will never be full of water. Shouldn't anyway. If they design them right, right?
build it hard.
yeah.
There will still be water releasing though into that drainage way.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not gonna, they have to hold it and slow it down, but it's still gonna go the way it always went ultimately.
yeah, it doesn't always go there though.
Well, now it should.
It's going, yeah, it's going
That
to that
should-
lady's backyard.
That should help the problems like
Where
that.
the storm
but-
pond is, where that stormwater pond is, where that person's backyard is, that's where most of the water runs now out of that field.
So this should collect the water from what was the field in this pond and release it slower through that infiltration basin or settling. So it should be better for the people right there than it is now, but it's not like the water is never gonna leave this site. It's still gonna
No,
eventually go
Yep.
out that drainage, but just like it always did.
yeah, just like that front corner too, that got so much better.
Yeah,
And Chuck's.
right, but it still doesn't, I mean, it's still gotta go somewhere
Yeah.
eventually, you
Yeah.
know?
Are we gonna have to talk more about this, or is this ready to be approved?
I think it's ready. I'm satisfied. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to be, continue to be usable recreation space for all residents. Because I remember you were taking some of that park one. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's, I was too, I was just making sure. I thought maybe it was Mark's idea to do that.
No, we talked about it that kind of, because originally there was an outlot, then there was 2 lots, then there was another outlot again.
Yeah,
So there was houses in between lots, outlots. And this way just kind of combined everything into one area.
yeah. I know you had talked to too about putting them behind lots, but yeah, that is the lowest spot of the field.
Ready for a motion?
I am.
Okay, then I would move adoption of resolution 2026-0202, granting conditional approval of the preliminary plat of Kennedy Hills second edition.
We have a motion. Is there? a
Second.
Motion by Christie, second by Fogger. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Next item, update on highway improvements associated with the development of Ironstone Commercial Park and the Binney Acres Business Park as a result of the traffic impact study. And the Cliff Notes version had a meeting with the Vinnies, the Houstons, our town planner, and the engineer for those guys last week.
Snyder's,
Huh?
from Snyder, you mean?
Snyder, thank you. Last week, Wednesday. And the results of the traffic study show that in approximately 10 years, the state is looking to put in roundabouts at N and 12 on the bridge, on either side of the bridge, I know. Yeah. Just, plus, they're also stating that there should possibly be a roundabout at N and Natfig. Because, I know, it's weird to think that, especially since most of the traffic improvements on that intersection are already in, trucks are going in and out of the pit just fine. So anyway, the county nor the state have responded with concurrence or disagreement or anything with the results of the traffic study in this, and they've had this since December 5th or 6th of last year. And what the decision would probably be in the interim would be, a suggestion I should say, would be that an improved would be a right-hand turn lane off of N coming north to go into the new business park would have to be constructed. The deceleration lanes on the southbound end coming into Natfig and into the pit are sized appropriately for whatever may need to be done And a suggestion was made that if the county is indeed wanting to put a roundabout in, which by that time would be at the county's expense, would be, the Houstons would dedicate future land on their side of the highway for whatever portion of the roundabout would have to go in there. At Highway 12 and 18 and North Star, a little bit different story. Well, let me go back to the Natfig intersection. They're showing about 6,500 cars a day coming through that area as a result of the traffic study. And it'll probably increase over the next few years by virtue of a whole lot of things. The traffic on North Star at 12 just kind of surprised me. There is less than 100 cars a day that use that intersection, either to the south or to the north, coming on to 12 and 18, correct. It's just, there's not that many houses down there. And there were even less that actually made turns off of, would be if you're on the south side of Highway 12 on North Star and you want to go toward Madison, you'd actually have to cross the eastbound lanes, make your left-hand turn and go. Likewise, if you're on North Star to the north and want to make a left to go toward Deerfield, you'd have to cross traffic. The estimate to put in left-hand turn lanes right where the median is right now is about $300,000, which I was shocked when I heard that. But, and like Kim says, we've had the discussion going on back and forth that yes, we want to do it right, but based upon current traffic, and we have no idea what kind of traffic is going to be coming off of the north side of North Star once like Dwayne Swalharm's lots start getting actually sold and developed. And also the road that will connect North Star to end that the Houstons are going to put in, which is going to be called Theodore Lane, by the way. Theodore. Anyway, that'd provide great traffic pattern, or out from the north end of North Star. That I made a suggestion that for emergency services, but the initial thought was we're just going to block off that. There's going to be no left turn coming off of, no left turns on the 12 and 18 from any direction. So if you can go right, or you can go right, but you can't go left, so you're crossing traffic. All right. The thought about is because the traffic is so slight there, it's such a small amount of it, people can go south on North Star and then over to N and back up again. It takes less like a minute and a half. I mean, it's very, very short time. But I was going to ask the fire chief, as long as he's here, if you had a fire on those houses on the south side of North Star, or if that is actually closed, for you either to go south and back and through if you got to run into town to get water, or if you just simply made a right-hand turn, went down a little bit where the pavement starts to come together and made your U-turn and then went back into town. Or what I came up with today was, the no U-turn. Yes.
I got a question on that.
Yeah.
So all the businesses in that business park, how do they get in there?
They're gonna come in Theodore.
So they'd have to leave 12 and 18 and get on N and then
And
go
then
to
come into
Theodore.
Theodore, correct.
And my truck driver husband, who's also a former firefighter and has brought up other questions too, says it's terrible to get to the top of the ramp at N and try to turn north with a truck. And I can attest to that too with a horse trailer. That
Why
is a
is it hard? Because there's a left-hand turn lane there.
No,
It is hard.
turning off
It's
of the
tough.
ramp onto N where you've got traffic coming over the bridge that
Oh,
you
you're
can
coming
barely
off
see.
of, you're on the
1218.
ramp.
Yeah, coming off
Making that
1218.
turn
Difficult.
From the ramp to head north on M, that's a terrible spot for a truck.
I would think it'd be easier to take a left off of 1218 onto North
It's a
Star.
I think it's a visibility issue sometimes up
Mhm.
there.
As
kind of
far as where?
Taking a left-hand turn in a big truck.
On N,
Yeah.
from 1218.
It's one, traffic, and then two,
Yeah.
there's some visibility issues.
It is traffic too, because they're coming, you gotta wait a long time to get it clear from both directions. And then you can't really, I mean, takes a truck, you don't just take off in a truck from a stop like that. And by the time you get out and across, by the time you can see them coming from the north and you get out and across, they're right there. I mean, I just know that from pulling a horse trailer, and I can imagine with a semi.
I mean, anytime you cross the lane of traffic, basically, you're gonna.
Pulling out to head north on N, if you're eastbound on 12 and 18,
Yep.
come up and sit at the top of that ramp and stop because there's cars coming, and then try to get going fast enough to get out of the way before the cars that you can see coming from the south
Yeah. to
or
go
north.
And it's,
To go no.
yeah, and it's vice versa when you're heading east and get off 12 and 18 and try and cross there, because I've done that when I want to go south. Take a left there. I
Mhm.
understand I'm not going to the business park, but when you think of traffic.
Yeah, that's not a good spot. So I wouldn't think it would be a good idea to push. I mean, you're gonna have truck traffic once anything gets going at Swalheim's and anywhere down in there. And they're all gonna have to get off there then and go around. And I don't think that's any better than crossing 12 and 18 where you can
Why is
see.
it gonna be, I mean, the way I look at it is the fact that if you're going, say you're gonna go to a business on Theodore Lane off of N, you're still gonna have to go that way.
Yeah,
Like right now, Capitol Underground's back there, right?
Yep.
I see their semis turning in and out of there all the time. And I don't know, it's pretty easy right now on 12 and 18 on the North Star.
Correct. But they're operating not off of this traffic study. I don't wanna.
Well, I
the
followed
town
that
perhaps
intersection. I
should
don't
have
see
done the
many
traffic
cars there.
study. What's
I
that?
don't see many cars there
Where?
when I'm plowing that area.
Oh, that back Capitol Underground?
Yeah, well, off of both sides of the road, right? If Capitol Underground has two semis come off there a day, that'd probably be an exaggeration.
Steve, what's the
That's what I'm
question
saying.
you're asking us about fire attack if we had a structure fire? Can you explain to us where the structure fire is at and where your barriers?
Any of the
are?
houses on the south side of 12 on North Star.
Okay,
You could take West Star back.
yes, and then, so where are your barriers placed then in this case?
Well, first conversation was just a block off period, so there was no left turns from North Star to the south going left to go west on 12. Like they do now. People cross the eastbound lanes to make a left-hand turn to go toward Madison.
Yeah, so we would have to come in from Theodore, is what you're saying, once it's open?
No,
Fire over here on North.
you'd have to go down to Rendon Road or whatever it is.
You'd have to go
West
down
Star.
to.
West Star, yeah.
West Star.
West Star
So
over to N.
There'd be a delay in response,
Yeah,
is what it
I
would create.
driven it. It's about, in a car, it's about a minute and a half to go from the stop sign at North Star to the south, down to West Star to the end and back up to the bridge.
So my other thought process on something like that would be to, instead of eliminating it entirely, would be able to create some type of gate access for the fire department.
Well, my comment was, what happens if you put in a no U-turn median, just like they have on the interstate? Limited to police, fire, highway vehicles, about 100 yards to the east of that intersection, not right lined up. So people, regular cars would be tempted to use it, but just offset it enough.
They're still gonna use it though. The cars
Well-
are gonna use it.
We could possibly write tickets then. I mean, just because the most expensive way, I don't feel is necessarily the best way all of the time. As a matter of fact,
End of the 4 lane too.
Mm-hmm.
And
You might get that.
the other thing is that we don't even know what amount of traffic is gonna be generated by the development on North Star right now. The kind of lots that
Commercial, so be a lot of trucks.
on,
North Star.
well, for the kind of lots that Dwayne Swalheim's putting up there, I don't think so. We're talking a little acre and a half
Yeah, we get
mom and pop
deliveries.
lots. What's that?
You always have deliveries if it's businesses, especially mechanics. They get a lot of semi deliveries. Amazon.
I think for us,
Whatever
it would be as simple as requesting some type of, at least fire department and EMS access and law enforcement access. At least if you decide you want to close it off to other vehicles, at least providing us some type of gated access that we can open up in the event of an emergency.
Is this study done or is it still being worked on?
No, the study is done. It's 512 pages.
Well, can they come out here and discuss our area with us or no, or somebody from Dane County?
Dane County has not responded. The state DOT has not responded.
What are we talking for timing for this?
Right now,
10 years, 5
no.
years?
the county is holding up the whole application process because they won't allow the rezone petition to proceed any further until the county knows who's paying for what. Okay, but we don't know who's gonna pay for what because we don't actually know what is.
Yeah, got it.
And Mark has also sent another email off today. The Houstons have sent off emails. I asked the question and there's crickets coming from the county.
So apparently there's a lot of questions left on this whole thing.
There is. And I don't know that just throwing 300,000, or that's what the estimate is, to put in 2 left-hand turn lanes, when right now there isn't enough traffic to warrant that. But again, we don't know what the county wants or what the state wants.
Jesus.
So anyway,
How can we even talk about it? If they have no clue what the hell's even going on.
well, they know what's going on. They've had the
Well,
study.
they can't if they don't know the money.
Who?
You said Dane County.
County's got every bit of information that, as far as what the cost for the 2 left-hand turn lanes, the whole 500+ page traffic
But
study.
my question is, when is this supposedly gonna happen with this study and everything?
It was
5
done
years
in
from
order
now, 10
to,
years from now?
no, right now.
Really?
It's holding up the Houston development. The county mandated that the traffic study be conducted in order for the development to start.
And Vinnie's,
Huh?
and Vinnie's.
Correct. And so until we get word back from the county and from DOT, either or actually, there's not a whole lot of movement, but I brought this up because of the fact that, there's people wanting to press forward and, just trying to throw some ideas out there rather than just, like I said before, just automatically throwing 300,000 proposed, out there for 2 left-hand turn lanes.
I can tell you one thing, that intersection is not dangerous at all.
Which one?
That North Star one. Nora is.
Oh,
And BN.
Yes.
I almost get hit every time there plowing.
I wonder how long it would take the mapping programs to catch up with the idea that that's a closed crossing and how many people wouldn't realize that and end up going and then turning around at Nora's,
Yeah.
or trying to turn around at Nora's and come back.
So Nick and I were just talking that, like, as we were having this conversation, we've got a lot worse intersections than the ones that you're talking about and thinking about closing and shutting off. That are major red flags for us that we're way more concerned about. that you should be talking about and thinking about doing left turns only because we have constant car accidents at high risk, high accident, high severity. And so the fact that we're sitting here talking about North Star and 12 and shutting that one down, we're kind of like, this isn't one of those red flag intersections to us compared to some of the other ones.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Part about this is to bear the burden of costs. Am I correct? So we're trying to decide, do we put, like, for instance, 12 and 18 and North Star, are we gonna put turn lanes in there or are we gonna block it off? If we're
Or
gonna put turn,
convince them to leave it as is for right now because of, there hasn't been a demonstrated need for it based upon the traffic study.
Right, but you're trying to develop an industrial park and you're making it more restrictive to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And who's the benefit? And who helps pay for that?
That's just it. I don't think we should be talking about trying to save money for developers that, you know,
But the thing
we
is,
shouldn't
right
be paying
now,
for it.
do it right.
we don't have enough developers because if we were to put the turn lanes in right now, okay? The only ones that would be paying for it right now would be Donnie Vinny. And Donnie Vinny development would stop because he
Yeah.
can't afford to put the whole thing in.
We had the same conversation 2 years ago about Nadvig. Remember that, about building that intersection?
Right. Chris wanted to,
Do it
town to
now.
foot the bill.
Yeah.
Want us to pay for it.
Yeah, it's not for us to pay for it, just like that's not for us to pay for it.
Prevent accidents though, are those added features like the turn lanes. And those are gonna be what help prevent the accidents and the injuries and the risk.
if there was the lands to the east, right there in the corner of 12 and 18, North Star going east, which would be Dwayne stuff. If that got into a development, it would be cheaper for everyone else.
So I
Correct.
think what's gonna have to happen, if, say, we were gonna go ahead with the 300,000, is that the town would have to pay it and special assess as the development occurs. And the bad thing is that this really should have all been figured out at the time that this property was put into the commercial development area. Town should have figured that out then. And then we could have assessed Vinny, or we could have assessed Swalheim as he built it. We could have assessed Capital Underground, Red Line Boats, all of them could have helped pay for this. But because we're so late in the game, it's gonna end up being a smaller bunch of them that pay for it, and the town's gonna have to pay it first and get their money when it develops. That's how it has to be done. If you want development down there, that the town's gonna have to,
Swalheim should still get a hook for it.
Swalheim, not for what he's already got approved.
Yeah, but he's gonna have that back piece, he's gonna do.
Yes,
Back
that will-
piece, yes. Anything that is not already done is gonna have to pay for it if we went forward
So
and
you're saying
assessed.
that on North Star Road, if there's something put on there onto 12 and 18, we're gonna have to pay for it in advance
Somebody's gonna have,
onto two federal highways? Where would we have to pay?
they're not gonna, the state's not gonna do it, that they didn't bring the development there.
Well, then maybe nothing will be done. The state's gonna end up paying, or the federal's gonna pay some money here on a state road, obviously, or a federal road, really. It's just, that's what it all comes down to, you know, what comes on to the 12 and 18. Do we pay for North Star coming into 12 and 18?
I had,
I don't know.
no, I'm trying not to have us,
You know, we don't want to pay any money out on this, right? We're not, it's not our development.
no, but it's money that can be recouped.
Yeah, I understand that, but
And the other thing to keep in mind is that potentially, unless there's an agreement on 12 and 18 and North Star, there may not be anything at 12 and 18 in Natick, and that would hurt us huge. That would hurt us huge.
We gotta have somebody come here and talk to us.
Well, isn't the state gonna have to approve whatever, right? It's their highway. So they're gonna have to approve either closing it or leaving it as it is for now, or requiring turn lanes at some point, right? So if you don't, until you hear from them,
Correct.
you can't really,
Yeah, we can't do a thing until
No.
some,
They
You
probably
can
haven't
make
seen the
those-
lawyers reading that 500-page.
yeah. You can
What's
make
that?
the suggestions, you can make your suggestions of those
Which we
things,
have, it just,
but until they say what they're gonna require.
So they probably have a team of lawyers reading that 500-page report yet, so they don't want to say anything until they get it all proofread.
well, you'd see December, January, we're into February,
Yeah. They like to go over things well.
well,
so anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now, so. Lots of talk, lots of correspondence outstanding with not so much in return.
but they didn't do this study with us involved,
Who?
did they? The state or whoever
The
did this study?
Houston's
It's
commission,
for
So
Houston.
they commissioned it. Okay, so who actually did it?
Snyder Engineering.
Okay, so they're guessing what should be done. Basically.
I don't know if it's a guess, but
Well, didn't
they're
Houston go ahead
recommending.
and say, hey, yeah, I want to go with this, and they go with it, or?
Well, they had counters out there for a month, I think it
They're
was.
making an educated recommendation.
Yeah, educated, that's all.
And then the
They're,
state and the county, because they're their roads, are the ones that have to
yeah,
accept it. And then we have to do what they say if we want to make those developments work.
that's the first thing that's got to be done then. Whoever did this study's got to get approval from Dane County, correct, or the state?
We're waiting for that, yes.
Yeah, so where are we at? I mean,
Have
we're
you
nowhere.
reached out- Have you reached out to Dane County?
Oh, yes.
You have.
Oh, yes. I have, Mark Roffers has, the Houstons have, the Vinnies have, Snyder's have,
Jesus,
and
that's crazy.
I have MBO on Wednesday night. Maybe I can, talk to somebody
ask
after this.
them about the traffic study on,
I will do that.
Okay,
all right. We beat that one to death.
How about our county board rep, David Peterson? No?
no,
Next item, update on the fire EMS organization review kickoff meeting from last week, Thursday. I thought it went well until we started reading the fine print from the AI generated report or the notes from the meeting. One of the things that there's PAA, the main company, they've subcontracted with a company called Cedar, like the tree. And Cedar is an engineering firm that will be going out, looking at facilities and equipment and things of that nature. And what the first flag that came up was that Cedar wanted to go ahead and, as a part of the EMS portion of the study, they wanted to go over to Deerfield and check on Deerfield's facilities to see how it affects EMS. Well, it's not part of the study. We don't particularly care what happens over in Deerfield. Additionally, the next item that was kind of after the fact red flag for me was Cedar wanted to map all the hot spots where there's a collection of calls, throughout the past year or 2 years, whatever they're using for their criteria. And then they wanted to, in conjunction with that, plot where all of the firefighters lived.
no, that's what you were talking about.
Yes, and because as if that was actually going to help determine where the village is going to get their new fire station, which,
Where the guys live.
Correct.
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Correct. And during the meeting, it didn't actually sink in at first that they were doing that. Then it was after the meeting when you're kind of processing everything that went through there. I said, are we gonna dox 40 people? No way. So I was talking before the meeting and that if it's okay with the board, I would send an email out to PAA to tell Cedar that we're not gonna give up the information for our firefighters. I mean, they don't have to go out on a map and like
Yeah.
April said, 15,000 people potentially knowing where everybody's hangs their head at night.
And it could change in 2 years, 3 years.
6 months.
Yeah. It's
And,
ridiculous.
correct. And then, Christie ran across an item that I overlooked the first time I was reading the AI, notes from the meeting, and I'll let her talk about that.
Well, when it said that they have a lot of equipment, perhaps more than they need to have. I have never.
Based
ever
upon the amount of people on the department.
Heard that.
On the people in the department.
Correct.
Interesting.
It says here, let's see. The Cedar team noted that while the department has a large number of apparatus, their actual active membership is much lower, suggesting the potential for reducing the equipment while maintaining service levels.
Is that true?
So I think part of this is, an AI issue. Like, I think that some of the documentation that came out of that meeting, I don't know how accurate that was from the meeting. I don't remember that particular conversation in the meeting.
I don't remember that at all.
So, I mean, I would say that that's not an accurate statement, but I would also say that I think that that was an error in the way that the note taking was done with the AI report personally. And I think that the study is going to reveal what we really need for apparatus and staffing. And I think that once they get going on that, they'll see that. But I kind of talked about this a little bit, like ISO comes in and does an audit every 5 years is the average. The fire department was just audited in 2025. And what we're actually being told is in the village with their properties, a proper response for a structure fire is 2 engines and a ladder, which is what we have, 2 engines and a ladder. You guys have tenders to support water shuttle because you don't have hydrants. So that's 5 of the trucks right there. The brush truck is a support apparatus and the squad is a support apparatus. So I don't know what apparatus you would get rid of that you could safely get rid
Great
of
truck.
anyways, without screwing up your ISO score or causing issues. And then the staffing number, I think, like I said, I think that was an AI thing because we're at 41 people and there's no metric out there that says how many people you have to have for a department, as long as you're meeting metrics for responses. So 41 for an all-volunteer department is pretty good by state standards right now. So I think that I don't think it was an intentional thing, and I don't think that they're going to come in and say, let's get rid of half the apparatus because you don't have enough people on the department or anything like that. I think part of it is just like, this was an initial thing. AI does what AI does, and if you don't properly read through it, you get weird things like that in there. And I think that maybe it should have been read a little bit better before it went out to everybody, but I don't know what their schedule's like either, so I'm not trying to criticize the people doing the study either. So, I mean,
I do think that it needs to be brought to their attention.
I sent an email this afternoon and I copied everybody that was on the initial notes, kind of saying that exact same thing, that I think that there was an issue with the.
Good. I didn't check this evening.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
It was
checked this
shortly
morning,
before the
but I
meeting
didn't
and
this evening.
I
Oh,
copied
okay, I haven't
everybody
looked.
anybody that got the notes got copied on. Basically pointed out that issue, that I thought it was an issue with the AI notes. but I wanted them to know about it so that they
So-
could correct it. if
So
needed.
this company that we hired another company,
They're a
Yeah.
subcontractor. It's
Right.
like a,
that never came up, as I remember, did it?
Oh,
No,
it
they-
was at
At our
that
meeting,
first
the big
meeting, it was
meeting,
at that
wasn't it?
meeting, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't
that-
they
remember that
talked,
being the name of the,
You had presentations for PAA and Cedar.
Cedar, yeah.
Right.
yeah, okay.
So you got notes that were sent to you,
Yes.
I got them also.
and you got them also. Did you get them, chief?
the notes from the meeting?
Yes.
Yes,
So everybody was at the meeting, got the notes,
yeah.
except for me.
You
You
didn't,
didn't get the notes?
No. And I'm not surprised because he sent something to my personal email address. I'm like, so I have no idea what's going on.
I'll send them to you.
Thank you. So if I need to, I can make a call to the gentleman, ask him to put me on the list, make sure I'm on.
I'll let them know that.
oh, it's got down here, tn.cottagegrovewi.gov.
Yeah, that should have came to this pad. And it's not
Unless
here.
I spelled it wrong. DEICKHOFF.
Yep. Yeah, finance report.
He sent it Saturday
Okay.
around noon, I'd say.
Thank you for letting me know that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not, it will be here.
It should be, yes.
I'll check this out with Kim for
Okay.
the night's over. Thank you.
Okay, so they're
sounds like
up and
they're
running
gonna
now?
I'm sorry?
They're up and running with their,
Yes. They're gonna be scheduling interviews with elected officials the week of the 10th of February. I don't know how far they're gonna go, if they're just gonna do the chair and the president. And, or if they're gonna go down through like people in the fire commission or what, they haven't really said.
I think they should do Troy because Troy is new on our board and would have a perspective of, fresh eyes on this. I remember talking to them 5 years ago when we had this study.
All right.
Yeah, there's also gonna be a questionnaire being
Right.
sent out also. I'll just make sure you get it and you can, even if they do interview, you can,
He doesn't have your email right. He's got, Mike Fonger didn't get it either. He's got no dot between Cottage Grove and wi.gov. I'll forward this to you guys. You wouldn't know that.
so that's the update there on the study, more to come.
I appreciated that Steve had us invited
Yeah.
to it. For the village, it was only the administrator and the village president that were on.
Anything else? Okay, next item, discuss and consider participating in Wisconsin commercial card program. Are they greeting cards?
They're purchase cards, they're not really a credit card. You can't carry a credit balance. You have to pay it off every month, which we always do anyway. But this is part of like the state procurement type of a plan. So it's through the state of Wisconsin in a sense. You can see that, their minimum credit line is 10,000, which is what we currently are carrying on our other card. And then you can have as many cards as you want that split that 10,000, and you can slide it more this way and more that way as needed. I would propose that we get, right now, Dan and I each have a card. I'm gonna propose that we get a third card that we just call Office, and that's the one that we use for all the subscriptions and all that junk. So that if one does get hacked, I still have another card that works, That's kind of how we did it at EMS when I was there too, is we had a card that was the one that all the online subscriptions and everything else went to, and then the one that was actually in my name for other stuff like going to the post office and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think Eric's online still. If he can speak to I think they've had a good experience with it, to my knowledge. And I just know that I continue to have problems I mean, I don't know if that this one will get hacked any less than the one, but the one I had got hacked 3 times last year. And the worst thing was, that was all resolved pretty well. There was only one charge that slipped through that didn't get caught by their fraud protection, and we did get our money back on that one. But the worst thing was that a few months later, they did a bunch of chargebacks on good charges, and I had all these vendors that were saying, well, wait a minute, you took your money back. That was a mess.
So if you have 3 cards, will it all have the same number?
No, they all are, like, they're 3 different cards, but they all operate under the same credit line and,
Okay,
yeah.
so kind of like 3 different statements.
It's like one statement, if I remember right, but you've got a breakdown by card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been working well for us. We haven't had any hacks. If we've had problems with an account, it was largely originated by Amazon. So we don't actually keep a card number in Amazon anymore. And the credit limits can be adjustable if we needed to, like you said, like Kim had said. But we get the invoice. It lists off each card because we have a chief card, a deputy chief card, an office manager card, and an office card, with the office card having the highest credit limit, and that's where the majority of our bills get paid from. So we get a printout of each individual person that I go through and approve, and correlate their charges to the appropriate account, and it has worked well for us. I joked with Kim, it actually still has her name on our account.
You also do get I think it's a 1.35% rebate, and that gets up by like a 100th or something if every day you pay it before the due date. So there is a rebate. So, and if they want you to use it, obviously, and they encourage you to pay like recurring bills and stuff with it versus writing checks all the time. I don't know. I don't know if there's much advantage to that, but some of the PBS and Charter or something like that, I guess, would be the candidates for that kind of stuff. I just did some quick math on what that might add up to if we just did the truly recurring ones, and I think it might be a couple thousand a year in rebates. But what you would do is in the report, what I would do is in the report that you got your checks to be approved, and then you would have your credit card things to be approved, and I wouldn't initiate those payments till the day after a meeting, just like I mail out checks, and that could be a way to keep from, no checks to buy, no stamps to buy, no envelopes to buy, no checks getting lost in the mail. So those are some of the advantages of going that way, and a rebate if you wanted to do that. I don't have to decide that right away, but something to think about.
Would you manage the 3rd card, or would you just be in a desk?
It probably would be locked in the desk and probably, just on file for charges for the most part, but
How much was the rebate on?
I think it's 1.35, and then it goes up depending on how quick you pay before the due date.
1.35 base points. Is there any additional security on this card versus the one we have now?
Not that I could see, no. I mean,
That'd be worth it if you had some extra backing. If it got hacked again,
oh,
to have it being able to shut off quickly and things get resolved much more quickly.
I mean, that all boils down to just watching it. You can shut down a card. I could shut down a card anytime, if I remember right. And but you have to be looking at these every day. I mean, that's what I do. So I look at it every day and make sure I recognize everything. Anyway, but they still got me that one time.
What do you want to do?
I'd like to switch just because I think this one works well, and I'm not that thrilled with what we've had. The big thing that irritated me was when they did those chargebacks. That just did not impress me much.
Well, I would make a motion, we approve this.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mike, second by Christie, to approve our participating in the state of Wisconsin commercial card program. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Public Works.
Right away permits, I got two. One's on Energy on Oakwood, gas hookup for that new house. And they won't be doing it for a while, but
No,
they haven't done the basement yet.
no.
And then the other one is Frontier. That's gonna be a big project. Nadvig Road, all the way through Rolling Wheels and Sky High, fiber.
Ooh, Really, Frontier?
They're diving in the pool.
Wow.
Frontier's going fiber?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently they got a trunk on and they're gonna come off of that. So they must have bought in on somebody's.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow, big news.
And then, yeah, other than that, yeah, we've had little snow events, but nothing too major at Public Works. Did have to replace the water drinking fountain at Flint Hall. It started leaking, and then we found out it was just shot. The tank underneath corroded all the way through.
Oh,
So I ordered a cheaper one on Amazon and got it here. So it looks really nice. We put it in today.
I like these lights.
Yeah, they turned out good. Other than that, business as usual.
And the Lions working next door to you?
Yeah, the ATC guys, yeah. It's what? WP services and alerts and alerts.
So is that new addition gonna come all the way up to the property line then by you?
The substation?
Yeah,
No, not really. Right now, they're just doing the poles. That's what they're working on.
right.
So
But I
just get
get,
those poles done. But substations isn't gonna get much bigger.
oh, it's not.
No, they're just it's gonna bump out a little bit, but not much.
Okay.
And then they're actually gonna pull out a bunch of stuff that's in there now and put in new.
Oh.
It's gonna be more towered. The new stuff will be, so it'll be
Okay.
taller. That's all I have.
Okay. Committee reports, or actually board reports, communications first.
Well, we have a response now. Deer Grove EMS has, the candidate has accepted the job, so we have a full-time assistant, office assistant manager, and she doesn't start though until the end of April, because the current full-time job she has wants her to finish up on some special projects that she has been doing.
What'd you say, start at the end of what?
April.
But she's not the assistant, she's the administrator, right?
Right.
Administrative Services Manager, yes.
Is
I'm
she or-
blanking on my, Eric, what is the exact job title?
Administrative Services Manager.
There
Thank
we
you.
go, that's a
Thank
big
you.
title.
Thank you.
We took words and tried to get every letter of the alphabet in all of them.
Everything else that I've been doing offline is, we talked about so far tonight with the PA study and the traffic study and Natfic landfill, we paid the bills, came in just under $2,000 under budget for 2025 from what we had originally, or for what the contract, which is good.
Mhm.
Fire committee. No,
Go ahead.
working on the ordinance for, we talked about the ordinance for the false alarms. And
Oh, yes.
that's, the police chief is working on it for the village side, and April's sleuthing, came across the county's one that's already existing.
Could we fit into that or no, or we can, huh?
So
It could be a lot easier doing that than,
it said anybody who's served by the Dane County Sheriff's Office, it looked like. And then I read the ordinance, the county ordinance, so I think it applies to us.
well, that'd be
So-
great.
I've got to call into Lieutenant Moore, who's the, on that, and I'm curious to see how many people have actually got their license through the county for their alarm
Yeah, good
systems.
point.
Are you gonna have, is it still Bill? Are you still using Bill?
What's that?
You use for your town attorney. Are you gonna have him look at it?
Oh, for what?
Just to see if that ordinance applies for the town.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we want to look into it. Could be
Well-
done easier than us having the village and the town doing separate things. If we could get Dane County to,
Well, the county
it's
won't
in
go
there.
into the, county won't go into the village. What I did
oh
was,
yeah, that's true.
I forwarded the county stuff to the police chief
Good.
to see if perhaps maybe and maybe have them steer toward the way the county's one is to make them as close as you can. And then I'll see what Lieutenant Moore has to say as far as what the amount of people, if any, have registered their alarm systems. And then Kim, right now, the county could do it, but it'd be a county ordinance violation because, or what would it take for us to adopt that county ordinance for a town to run it through town court?
We'd have to change some ordinance somewhere that adopts that one by reference.
Okay,
So I can try to figure out where that should go and see, ask the attorney to word it right.
okay.
How did you feel about as far as your 3 strikes, as far as for false alarms? Fairly decent or?
I mean, it's a step in the right direction. It's something to compromise, I guess.
Because originally he was just saying, if you get 3 within a year and after the first year is up, they all go away.
What we're looking at.
That doesn't sound fair.
No,
No,
So
so
That
to start,
doesn't sound good to
No,
me.
I think they're rolling. I think
So the
yeah,
rolling
that's,
part was.
yeah, you
rolling
can't
12
just
months.
give in to these
Yeah.
people every time.
Your oldest one
Just,
cut off, you still have
a
2,
year,
you know.
which was easier for them to track, which I
Oh,
understand.
sure,
why
but
he
that's
was
not
doing
the solution.
that. But I think the argument's made that, like, when you run into a situation where, like, say, a building gets 3 false alarms in December, and then they don't fix the alarm system, if you did the calendar year, January, they would go back to getting warnings again, but they've never fixed the issue. So
But we voted on the police or the fire commission to
do a rolling,
go ahead with the rolling thing, so.
I would tend to agree, because just to eliminate that scenario, because you might have that, well, we did have that in one of the properties already, where they had several towards the end of the year. If we did a calendar thing, they would just go back to getting warnings again. But
I sat in on the village's law enforcement committee and they seemed more inclined to do calendar year, but that was the village's law enforcement committee. So it's a hard,
Probably because that's what the chief wants.
I mean, does the police department do calendar year and warnings? I can't imagine that.
Or with your,
Well, because of the fact that's less work.
they're the ones writing the tickets and administering it, so.
I think that's incredibly generous for people.
Yeah.
I would be more stringent myself.
Absolutely. Especially when you have some regular players here that Yeah. Emergency government.
Yeah, we had a good meeting. We had some of our ambulance people were there, and of course, Stephanie is quite involved, so that was good. And everybody, we at the end, we said that Christie's now on the board, on our committee, so that worked out good. And what I like to do is next, the last Wednesday of the fourth Wednesday of the month, if you guys can supply yourself, or it doesn't have to be you guys, to come and just talk about fire and we can talk, about what the committee does and so on and so forth. So, and it was good. A lot of information that a lot of people didn't know about really.
I asked Corey Aramco, one of the newest lieutenants for Deer Grove EMS, to stop in. I thought he would share just a few things, but he stayed quite a while and shared a lot of information. I continue to learn a lot from him when I have a chance. And it was wonderful. I mean, he is exhibit A of why we have such a wonderful emergency medical service. He's totally committed to serving his community. He lives in Cottage Grove and gave an example of having on his, I can't remember if it's his phone or his watch, that if there is an emergency close by, that tells him where it is. And if he's available, he just goes on his own time. And he talked about how he had done that last year when the car ran into a couple and their son that were walking their dog. And he was just a couple blocks away, and he ran over and was able to be helpful until everyone was off in the ambulance. So that was new information to me that they have that.
But we can do that,
Is that Pulse Point?
Wednesday, 6:30.
Is that what he's using?
But you'll get some
I think
paper
so.
stuff. Okay.
And EMS.
Yeah, it was fascinating. We do clerk treasurer's office update.
Oh, yeah, you forgot me. Auditors were here today. They'll be back in the morning. Going okay as far as I can tell. Other than that, absentee voting in the clerk's office for the primary starts tomorrow, runs through next week. Public test of the voting equipment is next Wednesday. Election is the 17th primary.
That's a one item.
It's just a county judge seat. That's all that's on the ballot. It's up posted on the door if you want to see it.
I just got a text message from Elliot next door, Belden. Do you know who we use for the plumber over there at the ESP?
Probably Uselman.
Usman. We got a water heater that's out. Won't like.
One in the basement or the one upstairs?
I didn't say. I got to call him after the meeting, but
Uselman is who we've been using.
I can give him a call in the morning.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Not debatable. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for sitting through that, Corey.